I love black people. I love our culture. I love our music. I love our food. I love our seasonings. You know what I'm saying? We just the right amount of everything. I don't want to hear about all your business. And like, he didn't take it as serious as I knew it was. You develop PTSD going through boot camp alone. If I committed suicide right now, would my life be? And they set these resources up for you. Sacrificing and being a part of something great, it's amazing. You meet some amazing people, you have a great time, but it is a huge sacrifice. It will take a toll on your mental health, your mental state. Hey y'all, it's your girl, and I told y'all I was coming with some new content for y'all, so we gonna talk. I'm gonna eat my salad. Before y'all come up here acting up, yes, I am hungry. I am very hungry. I ain't gonna go live and nothing like that because y'all don't really be messing with a real girl. But some of y'all really enjoy my content, and being that this subject is very close to my heart and stuff like that, I decided that I need to talk more about it. I don't know how many people heard my last episode of my podcast. If you haven't heard it yet, you need to go check it out. Stop playing games with a real girl. What you doing? Anyway, so where we start? Mental Health Awareness Month. How'd I get started on it? So, growing up, I suffered from a lot of anger and depression and things like that. And I come from a family background situation where we laugh a lot. We do a lot of laughter and things like that. We're very close knit, but it's like what I've discovered in a lot of black families is like we cover things with humor. We don't deal with things. You don't deal with life the correct way, if that makes sense. We didn't have any guide, book guide or anything like that. So having someone to talk to communicate about certain things, a lot of times we haven't been able to do that. Just being able to come to somebody and say, hey, this is what I'm going through. You are afraid that you're going to be judged. You're going to be picked on. You might get punished, honestly. In a lot of the times in the black community, we all know this. We deal with stuff like, sexual assault, molestation, rape, absentee of your parents, not having your mom, not having your dad. Not having your dad is a huge one, but for myself, not having my mother in my life was the deciding factor for me of like, okay, you can either let this break you or make you. My mother's in my life now. It's just really difficult because of her health condition. But what else? And of course, homosexuality. That's a huge one in the black community. Going to your mama, going to your dad, your uncle, anybody in your family, and telling them you're gay, you're lesbian, or you like men, or even you like both, bisexual. That's really looked down upon. And it's really sad. And I know a lot of it is biblical, and I know Christ didn't make us that way and things like that. And I'm not here to get into that. But how I feel about it is at the end of the day, you love who you love. You are who you are. I don't put any type of labels or titles on any of that stuff. I don't get into the politics behind it because I love everybody, no matter who they love. You know what I'm saying? I didn't make them that way. I didn't put them in that situation, and I accept everybody for who they are. Now, I don't want to hear about all your business, you know what I'm saying? But, I accept people for who they are. I've been through a lot myself, so I know that meeting people and meeting different friends and things like that, there's a lot of reasons and a lot of conversation behind, some reasons. Some people who have been through abuse and been through molestation and things like that at a younger age, they end up growing up and, some of them don't get the proper care they need. Their mental state doesn't get taken care of, people living with HIV, things like that. It's something that's very sad, and you want to talk about it with people, but you just don't know who to talk about it with. So there's a lot of reasons, we have had mental stigma is need to be broken, especially in the Black community. Stress management is another one. Financial hardships is another one. Even COVID, just along with COVID, so many people have committed suicide. So many people have been really just broken out here. You got broken marriages, you got broken relationships, you have people who dealing with heartbreak. And for myself, just with everything I've been through in my life, I didn't really have an outlet. I had a lot of friends, I had boyfriends, and I felt like I spent a lot of time confiding in my boyfriends on certain things with my family situation, and I never really, even to this day, I don't really confide in my friends on it. And it's not because I'm ashamed or anything like that. I don't know, I just feel like I felt more comfortable relying on a significant other. Which brings me to my first point. I started going to therapy. I feel like when I was with my significant other at the time, when I discovered that I really needed to talk to someone, I really needed help, I was burdening him. I was putting too much pressure on him because he cared so much about me and he wanted me to get help, but I would just kind of put it off like whatever, what I'm saying? Like he didn't take it as serious as I knew it was. And I just didn't want him to keep dealing with my problems and my situation. And I didn't want to be that person. I was very angry. I had a lot of displaced anger. There was a lot of things that I needed to discuss, that I needed to let go, I needed to forgive, I needed to talk about. And I'm still in the process of getting there to that place. But even just making this video is so hard because like you don't want people to judge you. You don't want people to look at you and say like, oh my God, she's broken. Or even men, some men like, I don't want to mess with her, she an angry Black woman, or she got problems, or she crazy, this and that. And that's not the case at all. That's not the situation at all. Everybody deals with trauma differently. Everybody deals with life differently. Even being in the military, like that in itself, you need to talk to somebody because it's stressful. It's a very different lifestyle. It's not just a job you can just go to every day, unfortunately. Even though I try to treat it that way, that's not how it is. You know what I'm saying? You go through a lot. You develop PTSD going through boot camp alone, which is why they know these things and they set these resources up for you. Sacrificing and being a part of something great, it's amazing. You meet some amazing people, you have a great time, but it is a huge sacrifice. It will take a toll on your mental health, your mental state. So it's very important that we start talking about this more in the Black community. And I keep saying the Black community because I'm Black. I love being Black. I love Black people. I love Black men. I love being Black. I do. I don't disgracing the other race. I'm open to dating other races and things like that, but I just love the Black community. I love Black people. I love our culture. I love our music. I love our food. I love our seasonings. You know what I'm saying? We just the right amount of everything. But I love it. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that I dislike about our people, and I'm just trying to be a voice to the community, and hopefully that we can go further in life. And I just want to play my part. Being aware of your mental state is very important because I'm supposed to be eating my salad. You may have things that you're trying to figure out, like, why is this happening to me? Why am I going through this? Why do I do this when I get with a certain person or in a certain situation? And you may not know that you've developed PTSD. You may not know that you're suffering from depression. You may not know that you have suicidal thoughts. You can just be thinking about, I wonder if people will come to my funeral, or I wonder if I die today, who would love me, who would be there, who would care? Or if I hurt myself right now, will I be happier? If I committed suicide right now, would my life be, would I continue to be suffering? Does that make sense? That's like a first, realization. If you're having those thoughts, if you're having those moments, if it's something that it's crossed your mind, I strongly urge you to talk to someone. It can be a friend, it can be a family member, it can be a coworker, but I recommend it being somebody you trust. Somebody who has a little bit more wisdom in that area. They don't even have to be older than you. I'm 25 years old, and I have older people I talk to, people 35, 40, that talk to me all the time. I've learned, and I'm grateful for, is that when you go through trials and tribulations and situations and circumstances and heartbreak, you develop a level of wisdom and strength that people can admire. People can look up to you and come to you for that knowledge. And I've also learned is that having that crown of grace is also very, very heavy to carry, because I myself have a lot of things that I'm going through. And sometimes I feel like I'm hypocritical, because here I am being this mental health advocate when I don't got my shit together and I go to therapy, So I don't want to make this episode long, but because I can talk all day, but I am going to start doing more videos like this. I'll probably do another one tomorrow. I want to try to do more topics and things like that, and a little bit more professional for y'all. But I was like, you know what? It's May 7th, and I haven't really put out much content based around mental health and the importance of it and why we need to talk about it and why this month is a thing. But this month was created in the 1940s. 1940, this month was established officially as an official official month of mental health awareness, because we need to be talking about this. We need to be pressing this button. We need to be talking about this. I know families that have game nights. I know families that go to church together, and I know people who will go to a family reunion and go to a cookout, and go to a funeral and cry and mourn together, but won't talk about mental health. They won't talk about the problems and the things that they've been through in their families, and there's so much that we see growing up. And to me, I always said that we just some broken kids, you know what I'm saying? We just some grown up kids, pretty much all the adults in this world, because we have a lot of things that we learned as a child. We developed going through school in the early ages of early development, and we carried those on for years and years and years, and now we're adults with these problems that we should have fixed years ago, and we get to a point in our life where it was like, why I'm not at this place, why am I not where I need to be? I'm 35, I'm 45, I'm 60, and so many of us are stuck in our ways, and we don't want to fix it. Again, it's not something that has to be major. You don't have to walk around and scream to the world like, this is what I've been going through. No, sometimes it's as simple. It's to me, honestly, when I'm talking to my family, when I'm talking to my friends, it's so like subtle to me now. I used to be so ashamed about it, but it's so subtle to me now. I'm like, yeah, I was talking to my therapist, and me and my girl, like me and my therapist be talking like we talk like we girlfriends. Like me and my therapist, we talk like, so this is what's been going on this week. I've been waiting for you to call. I've been waiting for our session. Like, I'm just going through it, honey. We talk about everything, and therapists have, most therapists have a degree. They've studied this, they've went through college and things like that, life experiences and things like that. So they have a curricula, in a sense. They have something they can offer you. They have practices you can do. They have recommendations you can do. And I love going to therapy because I love that my therapist can give me a perspective that I didn't even see. Like, I didn't even think about it that way. Like, I go in there and be like, you know what, Rich, you are the problem. Really? Yes, you are the problem. You put too much pressure on yourself. You stressing yourself out. This doesn't need to be. And then I'm just like, I ain't even think about it. I ain't even think about it, you know what I'm saying? And that's literally how conversations go with me and my therapist, you know what I'm saying? So I go to therapy, and it has helped in a way, in a lot, I feel like. But there are times, like, you know, I know one of the biggest things around going to therapy people talk about is saying that it doesn't work. And I can understand why people say that, because you think that you've been talking to a therapist for a month, a couple months, and you're still in the same place you are. But it's the little victories. It's the little things that matter. Therapy is like another relationship in your life. You have to put in the work. You have to really try, and you have to give yourself time. And like just today, I was talking to my homegirl. I was like, man, Mo, I don't know, I'm kind of about to stop going to therapy because I can't tell if I'm getting worse or I'm getting better. And truthfully, there's days where I'll look at myself, I'll look at the way I conversate with people, or the way I interact with people, or how I carry myself. And I'm like, you know what? Had not I had that conversation with my therapist, who brought that to my presence, who brought that to my knowledge, who made me aware of that, I probably would have continued to keep doing what I'm doing. And then sometimes you just have those moments where it's honestly like, when it's something that you've been doing for so long and it's habit, and it's when the root is just so deep, it takes time. It takes time. It takes a lot of time to really get over that, to stop doing that, to be better than that. But as you go through it, you go through it, you know. Another thing too, I'm gonna address this, and this is probably gonna be the last thing, is the stigma around spiritual therapy, or, well, we can say counseling. You know, we can use counseling as another word. But you know, a lot of people in the Christian community, they turn to their pastors and the ministers in the church, which is totally fine. You can find counseling there and talk to them there. But the thing that I fear a lot about that, because I've had counseling too from my pastor and things like that, the thing that I fear about when you go to someone who is spiritually awakened and have a relationship with Christ, so they say, and things like that, I'm not knocking anybody's hustle, I'm not judging or criticizing, none of that. I'm just saying is that most Christians, they speak from a biblical perspective, especially ministers, people who study the word, people who minister the word, who give the word, all that. They come from a biblical perspective so much, and sometimes you just get lost. Like, I don't know what they're talking about. I know Adam and Eve, I know Job, Jacob, John, Paul, Peter, all of that, but it's like, where is this in the Bible? What do they talk about your mental state in the Bible? What apostles were depressed? Let's talk about that. Give me something that I can relate to. Give me something that I can understand. Break it down to me in layman terms, you know. And so many times they want to pray everything out of you. Oh, I'm going to pray this out of you. I'm going to pray that out of you. And that's why I don't care to go to a spiritual, you know, in that aspect. Now, everybody's different. When you're looking for therapists, there's all type of therapists, all type of counseling out there. I am going to try to make sure I link some websites and things like that before I post this video, because usually I just, okay, I did this video, I'm just get it out. No, I'm gonna make sure I take my time with this one and put some links on these things so you guys can have the resources that you need to have. But take care of you, you know, take time to really look at yourself and think about what's going on. Once you can figure out what's going on, where it's coming from, and how do I get there, I think you can start a healthy lifestyle, a mentally healthy lifestyle. Being mentally aware and having that relationship with yourself and things like that, self-care, self-love, all of that stuff, it's a lifestyle. It's not something you go through like a course and you pass it. No, you do that for the rest of your life. Sometimes just checking in with yourself, like, okay, journaling, like, this is what happened to me today. Sometimes just taking a stop, just taking a pause and just breathing, relaxing, just quietness. We go and we go and we go. Our bodies are so conditioned to keep going and keep doing and to make money and to provide and to do this and to that. And so many people, we just execute. We don't really have a plan. We don't really stop and think about what's going on. We just do. As men, when it comes down to mental health awareness and things like that, men, you gotta put your ego and your pride aside. You have to. I want more for our black men, and I say this with all I feel that there's just so many stigmas, and when I say stigmas, I mean people who have created this for generations, and they've said it, oh, all black men are the same, all black women are the same, you can't trust them, they break your hearts. And even me, I talk like that. And the angry black woman is a huge one. I was talking to one of my shipmates, and I asked him, I was like, you grew up, in Southern whatever, and, I'm just trying to figure out, I know what you like, what I'm saying, we cool, I done been hanging around you, stuff like that, but I'm just trying to figure out, like, why do you like this type of woman and not this type of women? And he told me straight up, like, y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. But, like, I was talking to someone the other night, and it's like, it's not that we're crazy, and in the aspect of we just born crazy. We've been through turmoil. We've been through years and years of turmoil, and it goes all the way back to slavery. Black women have dealt with so much. We have the stigma of being black. We have to carry the child. We have to cook. We have to clean. And then we have to turn around and we have to work. We have to put on everybody else's problems and take everybody else's pain. We have to be mature. And naturally, we are just carers. We're just caretakers. We care. We take on people's problems and we worry and things like that. And then, we are looked down upon so much. We're and then it's like we take all of that from society and from generations of pain, and then we have to come home to a man that we love, we take care of him, we protect him, we provide for him, we're loyal to him, we're faithful to him, and for him to betray you, and the betrayal is just so deep. And if you don't deal with that betrayal, and if you don't get the counseling that you need and get the healing that you need and forgive, it festers. And when it festers, it's deep. It happens, So all of my black men out there, be patient with your black woman. And all of my black women, be patient with your black men. Because it goes the same way. Black men, they go through a lot. And even though they are a little bit more respected than black women, they still go through a lot. They are naturally the breadwinners, the go-getters, the providers, and they put a lot of stress on themselves to be a strong man and to have pride and to have ego and to not let your guard down and to be tough and to do this and to do that. And then, we still have, I'm gonna put it out there, we still have police brutality going on. We have racial unequalness out there that's going on, and that's something that our black men are dealing with, and our black women too. It's now starting to become more common with our black women too. So if there is ever a time for us to really join forces and to be forces in this world, it's definitely now. It's been but we cannot go out into the world and be Michelle and Barack Obama if we can't go home and be Shay and Trayvon. You know what I'm saying? We can't, and I'm at 23 minutes. Last thing I'm going to say for real. I've discovered that when you work on yourself and you know who you are, you've done the work for yourself, and then your significant other know who they are, they've done the work for themselves, and if they haven't completely done it and they're still, working on themselves, and they take that time, together you are a powerhouse. Nobody can come in between that. Nobody can stop that. You and him are a man and woman of God together. But you have to do that before. I was watching this series on YouTube by Pastor Todd. He is amazing. Y'all gotta check him out. One of my first series, I haven't watched him in a while, but one of my first series that I watched with him, he talks about, it's called Relationship Goals. And he talks about, the first episode is about basically yourself, how your marriage is, it's a reflection of you by yourself. When two people join forces to date, to marry, to have a kid, anything, you two have come together to make that one thing happen. So again, you cannot be a powerhouse if you bringing your problems, they bringing their problems, y'all ain't fixing it, now y'all got even more problems. He bringing his anger, you bringing your anger, now y'all coming home and y'all lashing out on each other. You know, I'm not an expert. I'm still working on a lot of these things that I'm discussing, but in doing so, you know, and doing and practicing and trying and putting in effort and work, you learn. You know, it's just like any new skill you want to learn. You want to learn how to play the piano, you want to learn how to sing, you want to learn how to do hair. You go to college to learn these courses to get a degree, and you succeed, you're successful, you pass, and you eventually get to where you need to be. You learn what you need to learn. So it's like any other skill. People just, for some reason, don't want to take the time out to do it because they feel that it's not going to work, or they cancel it right away, and she's never going to change, he's never going to change, and I'm tired of this, I'm tired of playing these games, and blase, blase, blase. So let's really try this month, you guys, to grow, to become a better you. Become a better you. That's actually what my brand is. It's called Ooh Baby, and it's Become a Better You. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next video. But I hope you guys have a great night, great day. And you know what I'm saying, be safe out there in these streets. It's your girl Mookie Moo, and I'm out, and that's dead. Yeah, what you doing? Peace.